the rain keeps falling and the Waikato River continues to rise, problems mount for the people of Huntly. The damage from this year's overflow has already eclipsed the big flood of '58, the last time that so much land disappeared below the river. Huntly College is now underwater and volunteers work desperately to prevent its complete destruction.
We're going to need more sandbanks along there. Okay. They don't put them all in here, we need them.
At Rangariri, the flooding is so severe, police have closed Highway 1 to everything but the heaviest of vehicles.
The flooding's too strong to allow southbound traffic through. We've had 2 cars already been washed off the road, so we've closed State Highway 1 totally to light vehicles, and we're only allowing heavy motor vehicles through. The rest have been diverted down Te Ahaki Road and back onto State Highway 1 Huntly.
Back at Huntly, help is on the way to stranded farmers who've been completely cut off for days.
Yeah, now that the immediate safety concerns are over, our next issue is the welfare concerns of people who have been trapped for some time. We'll be putting boats in the water to get to areas that have had the road access cut off.
Boats have been seconded from all over. It's probably the first time that the Coast Guard has reached this far inland. For a short period of time, New Zealand has its very own water rats.
Well, we're just checking the houses along here. There's a stretch of the Hakramata Road which has been isolated since Saturday, since the river first came up, and most people in that area haven't been able to get out to get any food or provisions and that. We've got the Coast Guard plus an airboat from Rotorua have come up, and we're ferrying them down to Huntly so they're able to get food at the supermarket and things like that. We're also just checking to make sure nobody's in any problems medically wise, make sure the houses are safe. Most of the houses here are well above waterline, but there's a few isolated ones which are totally stranded within the area. Again, they're on their own exclusive little islands almost at the moment. These people are stranded in these areas. The last thing they want to do is feel like they're totally isolated from everywhere and nobody cares about them. Somebody's got to get in there and make sure they're okay, and that's what we're here for.
One of the major obstacles to overcome is the changing contour of the land. Fences and even buildings are now underwater, and reaching the stranded can be a hazardous business. It's important to find a safe route.
Coast Guard boat will come around here and we'll load you back on again. Okay. And we'll take you back down to Huntly.
Don't say load, Judy. It gets so
you can board the boat on that side. It's just that, like with here, the fences, yes, we touch the tops of the posts there, so any small amount of extra weight is a bit much.
You wuss. Thank you, wuss. I've got my bum wet. I'm not getting my feet wet. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, what you do for milk.
For the Dardle family, this is the first physical contact they've had with the outside world for 5 days.
We saw these 2 guys, and they were our first outside visitors, and they were really good. It was smashing, actually, to see them and to know that they were about, and they were quite concerned as to our safety. It was unfortunate to hear that there was looting, in fact, going on in Huntly. I thought that was very sad, that people who are under stressful conditions already are being further stressed out when they don't need to be, knowing the property's in danger.
Stories of looting have been circulating around the river for a few days. In response, the police increased their patrols as they continued to provide practical relief to the flood affected.
We go in here and check a couple of the... There's a guy, Candy, in there who sort of coordinated all the people there. Okay. He's got like long Farmer John pants on, blue pants. Yep. Just check with him.
Is that right down to the point?
Yep, we picked up they're on the Coast Guard thing. Yep. We just sent the guys in a little inflatable. They've gone back into that last spot where you guys have been picking up.
In most cases, the one thing people needed most urgently was a ride to the supermarket.
We've been marooned since Sunday, and the police were wonderful. They rang up yesterday to see if we needed any supplies, and they offered the hovercraft to come and collect us and bring us into town. We've had to come into town for medicine and some supplies.
As another load of passengers head for home, the police survey the situation in one of Huntly's flooded suburbs.
But you still think it's really quite deep through here?
It's deep, all right. Well, it's up nearly up to your waist. Well, they're very worried about thieving, of course, because everything's in there. Yeah. But they're going to try and get it all out on the weekend if things recede. It's pretty tough in a little tinny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting most of your stuff out.
Yeah. Where have you folks come up from?
My place.
Which is?
Clay.
How's things going down there? We were just going to try and come down and give you a bit of the update to what's going on and make sure everybody's all right down there.
Yeah, I'm just going out to fill up my gas bottle. Get some food.
Eventually, as the river levels drop, the police operation begins to wind down. Two 12-year-old boys were picked up for the lootings and dealt with by Youth Aid. Apart from a couple of car accidents, a major disaster had been averted, though the police were still keeping a close eye on the weather forecast.
We'll continue to maintain a 24-hour watching brief on the situation, and really it's a matter of watching the river levels and watching the weather and seeing whether we have to take any urgent action to cope with flooding emergencies.
Next week on Police. Operation Tin Man rounds up tinny dealers in Te Awamutu. And an evening at the bar turns